Guys, I just discovered Beni. You may not know what Beni is or who Beni is or who Mondo Robotics, if I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. It is a Kickstarter. The launch is on July 8th. It's essentially a drone on wheels instead of flying. Now, if you guys are familiar with the kinds of drones that will follow you around, you track your face, or even the Osmo Pocket, you know, the little camera that you just plop down and it'll track your face and follow you in your kitchen and whatnot. It's essentially that, but on wheels. It's honestly, I've seen the bare minimum on it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to make a video on this. This looks like a dope product to review. Now, obviously, I personally can't get my hands on one. Not just because of money, but because it's not. It's a Kickstarter. Now they do exist. I noticed that there was a video of somebody using it, like an actual creator. Maybe one day I'll get to that point where companies will send me their products so I can actually review them. But as of right now, I'm kind of doing it on my own. So pretty much what it is a this is what it is, right? Isn't that still working out the camera angles while I'm here. Pretty much what it is as you can see a camera on wheels. It's a nice little robot that does flips. It looks really good. They've got 4K video. You know, the low camera angles I think are great for certain shots. I don't think it's the best for everything, in my opinion. For certain shots, I think it's great. It's auto editing. You pick the clips that it recorded for you, and you select them. It'll group it together, and I assume all it does is merge it into one long video. I don't think it actually edits like certain, you know, creative ways. I think it literally just merges the videos together for you. This is a cool feature, in my opinion. It jumps up to 10 inches, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's almost a foot, which for something this small, I think is great. I think it's a good little feature in the case that it needs to use it. My one thing is, how well does the actual videos, like how stable is it going to be, especially on these different terrains? Imagine you're on gravel, cobblestone, even just, you know, some rough, you know, dirt and grass that isn't flat. How stable is the video going to be? That's my question. Most of the shots here look pretty good, but these are all kind of like, this right here is an amazing shot to kind of show off. You know, kind of went on a ramp. This right here looks great. It's not that smooth, but you know, it's not going to be perfect. Obviously, that's as good as, if that's as good as it's going to get. It honestly seems really well, but this is also very flat level grass. And it doesn't just shoot directly in front. It clearly turns to the sides, like the actual camera. Like this shot of the dog, that's clearly rolling alongside of it. I also know that it goes up to 17.9 miles an hour, according to them. Now, I do think that depends on the terrain as well. I can only assume that once you get on rougher terrain, it might slow down a bit because it needs to be stable. But it just depends on how well the programming is on that. You know, how, you know, what kind of resources they had. It seems to be a great quality product. I will say it looks like majority of it is plastic, which to me doesn't seem as secure, especially if you're doing more outdoor activities, because it does also say for athletes. Imagine you're trying to actually play the game while getting shots. You're like, right here, she got really close to it on the skateboard. Who's to say you don't accidentally hit it, right? And if that's the case, it's gonna crack on the first go, in my opinion. I think that's the one downside to it, personally, from what I see, is the actual, like, the quality looks great in every way, but the fact that it's plastic worries me a bit. It genuinely does, because I'm a rough guy when it comes to products like this. I honestly have to bubble wrap and wrap it up and bubble wrap, fucking blankets, put pillows all around it to make sure that I don't can destroy it when transporting it. Like I'm that type of, I'm like I will, I'm not clumsy, but I can be at times. And with a product like this, imagine I'm doing basketball, you know, and I get a shot, you know, especially something like this, like the ball goes flying out of control and it hits Benny and just boom, done for. Just based off the videos, the fact that it's plastic kind of worries me a bit. Um, of course, that probably makes it a lot more lightweight, which is good, which is nice. I think the main use for it is gonna be those low angle, stable shots. Instead of having somebody run alongside you with their giant rig and the gimbal, you know, getting a low angle shot with a heavy ass camera, trying to make it as stable and smooth as possible. This is gonna be really good for that. Especially, I don't know where the clip is. There's a clip of like, I think it's this. There's a clip somewhere I saw that where like it was just circling somebody. I think that's cool. That's gonna be pretty good for that as well. And then the athletes, you know, forget the tripod, a whole new angle on your game. I think that's great as well. There's just a lot of like, there's nothing wrong with the product. I think it's gonna be a great product. My concern is the durability. That's the only concern I have. Benny never needs the internet to follow, film, or capture your moments. Your footage stays with you unless you choose otherwise. That's also a really good thing. Now, my assumption is that it's gonna have an app with a sort of subscription, kind of like GoPro has an app. And if you want to save your things to the cloud and whatnot, you have to pay. Built tough, engineered right. 1.5 hours per battery, 4.5 plus hours with 3 easy swap. So there's 3 batteries. It's 3.86 pounds. That's pretty light. Like you probably wouldn't even notice a difference in your your backpack. Does it come with the carrying case? That's my question now. Does it come with the carrying case? Also, if it has sensors on it, I live in Florida. The heat is the worst. The humidity is the worst. But if it has sensors on it, there are a lot of sensors, especially like VR glasses, right? The sensors on them, you cannot put them in sunlight because they will get messed up. So my question is there a certain sensitivity to the sensors on it? I'm not a smart guy. I barely graduated high school. So like these might be dumb questions, but they're questions that I have that I genuinely want to answer because I think curiosity is a good trait to have. But 3.86 pounds, I mean that's pretty light. 1.5 hours per battery, I think is great, but again in Florida heat and how it is out here, how's the like does it have a cooling system? Like what does it do to not overheat? I feel like I would have this out for 4 hours outside when I'm playing basketball and it'd be melted on the floor by the 3rd hour. That's how it is out here. It's not the product's issue. It's a again, Florida issue. Camera's 4K at 30 frames and 3K at 60 frames, 1080p at 100 frames, which is still great. I think that's a good standard. 1080p in anything at 100 frames is a good like low like minimum standard to have nowadays. Storage is 32 gigabytes internal, micro SD slot plus a micro SD slot, which is nice. I'm not a fan of micro SDs. I have fat fingers, and like with my GoPro, for example, trying to take it out and put it in is the worst fucking thing. So I don't like micro SDs, but you know, it's a small compact product, you know, and they try to fit as much as they can into something as small as possible. I think it's still good. 32 gigs internal is not bad, but when you're recording at 4K, I feel like, I think for this 32 gigs, I think it's still fine. Micro SD cards are not hard to come by. You could buy a pack of them for relatively good price. So I think that's good regardless. Connectivity, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.4. Don't know really what that means, but I assume it's good. Everything else seems to be, you know, getting all the check marks. I like how they say what's under the hood. I like that. I really want to get my hand on one of these. I worry that I'd break it, but I want to get my hand on one of these. Okay, package includes Beni, motion controller, battery, charging cables, and stickers. So it comes with one motion controller, which is fine. But I think having it's like when you buy a car, you want to get 2 pairs of keys. You want to get 2 keys, you know? So you want to get 2 controllers. I think that's how much would a controller be on its own? That's the question. Because if it's not that bad of a price, then you may as well throw in a second controller in there. If you can get it for a deal, you know what I'm saying? So I was saying this earlier, but it threw up a red flag for me when it said reserve and 300 and get $300 off. The reason why that threw a red flag up for me was the fact that $300 is a lot of money, especially to get $300 off. That's a lot of money off the product. That immediately made me think this thing is gonna be pricey. Probably the price of a drone. Probably between $2,000 to $3,000. It's $1,500 minimum, but that's really pushing it. And then I put in my email. I didn't like reserve to like pay, but I was curious to see what the price was gonna be. This thing is $800. $800 is a lot of money. But for a product like this, $800 is relatively reasonable, in my opinion. In my opinion. $800 is really good. Now, on top of that, you're getting $300 off. You're paying $499. So, your perks. $300 off, limited founder pricing. Priority shipping and dedicated support. Behind the scenes updates and early looks. Just $10, fully refundable anytime. All I gotta do is pay $10 right now to get that, you know, those perks, right? But then I'm paying $4.99 for the actual product itself. $7.99 down to $4.99 is great. So it follows you, it tracks you, da 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 da. Beni uses onboard tracking to recognize and follow your movement while keeping the camera framed on the action. Is Beni waterproof? Belt is for everyday indoor and outdoor play, but it should not be submerged or used in heavy rain. Okay, so I'm assuming light rain is fine. You know, maybe a sprinkler goes off or it just starts raining and you still get your shot, but dry it off and you know, whatnot. Yeah, what? Who the fuck is asking that? It literally comes with the remote. Where can I buy Beni? Join early access to first. Blah, blah, blah. So the first 1,000 that are shipped out, if you reserve it, you actually get to they have like a dedicated shipping and like specialized, like, you know, they put you first, they prioritize you, which I think is fine. This is cool. I wish I had the money to reserve this. I wish I could get my hands on this, you know, ASAP. This is like one of those products where it's great to try it out. I think it's amazing to try out, regardless of how good or bad it is. It's amazing to try out. Oh, the tires come off. The tires are replaceable. I assume you want to take them off to clean them up and then put them back on. But then I also assume that if something happens to the tire, you would replace it. I genuinely don't know what the jump in an actual shot for like rolling. I'm curious to know like what the jump would actually be useful in for a shot. But just to get around obstacles, I think it's a nice feature to have. And again, 10 inches is actually pretty good for something as small as this is. It almost feels like Boston Dynamic, like they're robot dogs that like have very similar limbs in the sense, like to give them like that springy feel. That's pretty cool. I really like it. I wish I could get my hands on one of these. How does the hat stay on? I assume it's magnetic because there's a lot of these shots they don't have the hat on, but then you can get the hat. Actually, none of these shots have the hat on. I'm seeing extra tires here, but extra wheels, but doesn't say it comes with wheels, so I wonder how much it would cost. Bro, I can only assume it would cost a pretty penny just to replace like the tires and like the motion control, or like getting a second one. I assume it cost a pretty penny. Taking a closer look at it kind of gives me like drone vibes in the sense of like it looks like it, even though it's plastic, it doesn't look flimsy at all. It looks like a really good quality product. So I genuinely think it's, man, the more I look at it, the more I'm really switching up my opinion, huh? I think regardless if it ends up being like the best product ever or a 5 out of 10 product, it's a cool product to have. It's a cool thing that many people aren't really doing right now. I think it's a good product. I want to get my hands on it. $4.99, even $7.99 is a good price. I'm not mad at it. I know y'all can't really see my facial expressions right now or my face at all because I don't have any light over here. It's all behind me. But I think it's a dope product. I would want to give it a shot, especially for like basketball clips, or even just like if I go out and I'm just, bring it along with me and have it follow me. Again, those low angle shots aren't going to be as useful in most cases for me personally, but I do want to get into cinematic videos, cinematic vlogs as well. Getting those low angle shots, especially when I have nobody else. For the most of the time, I don't have anybody else to record those shots with me, and I think this would be the great companion to have to get those shots. Imagine I'm doing a vlog and I'm going out and I could just have it roll next to me, and while I'm like getting like a shot of it following me, like walking down the sidewalk or something. Who knows, man? I think you could do a lot with it. Someone that I hope to see testing this product would be like Casey Neistat. Those would be like honest reviews. That's the kind of like I want to get into those reviews, man. I want to get into like reviewing products and trying out new things. I think that's dope. This is my Kickstarter. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to test out this product or review other products, maybe I can get my hands on, or even just checking their website out and trying reviewing them that way. I know I can't give a full review on it because I don't have the product itself. You can't review a product without the product. But reviewing the website, I think, is also a good way, kind of just seeing what they have, get the expectations. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get your hands on the product, then you can have a better a review. I wish I could like get my hands on it to like test it out and whatnot. It's just it's unlikely to happen. It's not gonna happen. But I'm really excited for the product. I really am. Again, whether it is the best version of what they're trying to do, the best product for what it's trying to be, or even just a mediocre product for what it's trying to be, I think it's gonna be a great product. It's gonna come in handy when needed. I think it's worth trying out for anybody. Maybe you're just starting to get into content creation and you want to get shots like this. Even like your TikToks and shit, if you're trying to do those shorts, I think it's also a good way to do it. Another question that I have though is, how long of a recording time do you get before it overheats or it automatically stops because it has a limit? One thing that like the meta glasses, for example, like Meta Ray-Bans, the one thing that I don't like about them, literally the only thing I do not like about the glasses, the limit. You can only record up to I think 3 minutes on the glasses, which I think is kind of whack. I can understand if there's reasons why, but I do think it's whack as fuck that you can only record up to 3 minutes. Quality is still great on it, I guess. But yeah, that's a question that I have for this product is, what is the record time? Like, is there a limit to it? Because if there is, that might, kind of make it feel kind of like, I think it'd be whack if there was like a record time on it. But if there isn't, great. I also, again, would understand if there is a limit. You got to see the good and bad about it, right? You got to see both sides. Why is there a limit? It could overheat. That's the only reason I could think of. But other than that, I mean, you never know. You never know what the reason could be. If you don't look into it, So that's my one question. Okay, I had two questions, right? It was that. Is there a record limit on it? Like a record time limit? And how durable is it? But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you stuck around. Yeah, that was my thoughts on it. I'm excited for it. I want to see videos on it. I want to see more about it. I want to get to know more about the process and whatnot. I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna rename mine. I don't like Beni. I don't like Beni. I want to ask questions. Figure out what the purpose is. Figure out why they do it. Why this way? Why not that way? What's the limit? What's the capabilities? I want to know it all. I'm very curious about these products that I review, and it's not. Again, if I say something negative about a product, it's not because it's not a good product. There's just some things that I question. As an overthinker especially, I probably think about questions that nobody else is even concerned to ask. Like the record limit. I'm sure not as many people asked about it, or even thought about it like I did, But there are products that have that, and I want to know, does your product have that? I want to know all these things. I want to know everything. I don't know how loud I'm being. So, but yeah, in the off chance that they're watching this, I'll glaze them. You know what I'm saying? Because if they send me a product, they send it to me, or you know whatever it is to review, and they're trying to kickstart their product. That's a good way to connect. We're on the same boat, bro. Let's help each other out. You know what I'm saying? I can get shots for them, give my feedback for them, and they can use that. No, but genuinely, I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what you think about the product. Genuinely, ask the questions so that I can see your questions and be like, that's a good question. We should ask them. You want to ask questions, especially about something new, something like things like this. It's good to ask questions. I'm gonna stop yapping. I love y'all. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever it may be for you. And as always, I will catch y'all in the next one. Also, I'm so excited for the new setup. All right. Goodbye.